I would like to give the floor to Her Excellency Ms. Annalena Baerbock to address the committee. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Good morning, everybody. Your Excellency, Ms. Susanna Horvath, Permanent Representative of Hungary and Chair of the Fifth Committee, Under Secretary General, Ms. Catherine Pollard, Excellencies, distinguished guests. Allow me to begin with warm congratulations to the Chair and the members of the Bureau on their election, and by wishing you every success as you assume these important responsibilities. The work of the Fifth Committee is central to the effective functioning of our organization. It is here that decisions are taken on funding, on management, and on human resource policy. Even in normal times, this committee carries a special responsibility, ensuring that the United Nations has the resources it needs to operate. That responsibility takes on greater urgency today in an era of budgetary constraint. However, as I said at the general debate, this is not an ordinary session. Our house of dialogue and diplomacy needs a renovation. Our house is also under heavy pressure. We are literally at a crossroads, a make or break moment, politically and financially. This is why the UN80 initiative and the wider reform process are not luxury, but necessities. We have to deliver a United Nations that is agile, cost-effective, and fit for purpose. The program budget before you includes the revised estimates linked to this initiative. These proposed budgets are a critical first step in advancing the goals of the UN80 initiative to revive the efficiency and the credibility of this institution. I encourage all delegations to approach the committee's deliberation as well as the wider processes of the 80th session in a constructive manner. I also remind you to the commitments we made in the resolution on General Assembly revitalizations, to review working methods during the session and to submit concrete proposals to the General Committee on how to make our work more efficient and effective. I have likewise encouraged the other thematic committees to think carefully before simply repeating resolutions and working methods of the past. Instead, we should ask ourselves each time, does this paragraph still make sense in our times, or do we have more efficient methods and technologies? Drafting resolutions is not a just copy and paste exercise. We have to ask ourselves, especially if we call for another SG report, when so many are not even funded, if we need another one which will not be funded and therefore implemented in the end. Excellencies, on the other hand, I would like to strongly underline that it's not only an exercise in cutting costs, but an exercise in doing better together. The reason for this reform is to make our organization fit for the future, fit for purpose. And the purpose is clear. It's defined in our charter, serving humanity by delivering on peace and security, and also delivering on sustainable development, human rights, and justice, as they are highly interlinked. Without delivering on the 2030 agenda on the SDGs, lasting peace will never be reached. So amid all the discussions and even disputes over commas, numbers, and cuts, let us not lose sight of our larger responsibility, especially in this committee. For those of us, and I hope all of us, who believe in the Charter or like myself has sworn the oath to our Charter, our duty goes in these times and days beyond finalizing the budget. It is to ensure that the budget, first and foremost, serves always the Charter, our principles, and makes the work of our United Nations possible. If we are saying we are at a crossroads, this is now the moment to take the right decisions. To do otherwise, to cut just for cutting's sake, with not considering the results of some of the cuts. That would also mean shredding the very principles and functions of these organizations. Excellencies, as we also know, the financial health of the organization goes beyond the 2026 budget. The liquidity crisis has been years in the making. A sustainable solution requires that aforementioned reforms and budget adjustments, but it also requires that member states meet their obligations in full, on time, and without conditions. When contributions are delayed or withheld, the United Nations is weakened and risk paralyzes. It cannot deliver on its principles, with practical and sometimes dramatic consequences on the ground. We can see it with our own technique here in the room, but the consequences around the world are even heavier. So cutting funds to the World Food Programme means literally that people go hungry to bed or people starve. Halving the budget of peacekeeping missions could imperil the mission itself, fueling the risk of renewed conflict. In the end, it all comes down to this. We either make it together or we suffer alone. The good thing, the Fifth Committee's long tradition of consensus is the embodiment of the theme of this session, better together. Your ability here to reach across the aisles and find common ground is a testament to your dedication and leads to strong and lasting results. This is the heart of diplomacy. This is the heart of compromises and consensus. We all know this session will not be easy. It's an extraordinary session. But I encourage you to redouble your commitments to this tradition of finding compromises, to show that the world wants to see that the United Nations is still capable of reforming itself, that the United Nations is possible of working together, of delivering results even in the most difficult circumstances. So no pressure, even though the whole world is watching. But yes, we have to finalize the budget in the remaining last weeks, and it's still some months. I wish you the very best to hit the ground running and encourage you to make the most of each day of this session, especially now in autumn-fall season. I remain at your disposal to support you at any time and of any help if you need, not only to reach a hard-won consensus, but also for the sake of finishing in time so everybody could also enjoy December holidays. I thank you.
On behalf of the committee, I would like to thank Her Excellency for her remarks.